Another massive fight would be Ilia versus Islam too.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, Salim is obsessed with that fight.
Oh, really?
He's obsessed with it. And I tell him, I'm like, but they both got to win more fights in their division first, right? That's kind of how you do it, right? When it's like they both run through their division, and then it's like you're in the position where it's like, I got to make this. That's what happened with Volk Islam, right?
Well, the other thing is too is that Islam moves up, and obviously if Islam won the title, you know, you immediately have a super fight with him and Ilia. So
could that be if Islam gets one victory? Could that potentially happen?
You have to see. It's one thing to sit around. This is what the media always tries to do: sit around and talk about these fights before they happen, or, you know, hypothetically speaking. I don't like hypothetical. These are options that we have if things play out that way, but you never know what's going to happen.
Islam Makhachev has created major buzz in the MMA world after sharing his desire to fight Ilia Topuria once he wins the welterweight belt. Fans have been eager to see this matchup, and now they finally have some hope. Speaking at the Eagle FC press conference, Makhachev revealed that after taking care of business against Jack Della Maddalena, his focus will shift to a potential super fight with Ilia Topuria. He admitted that the matchup truly excites him, even calling it one of the biggest possible champion versus champion clashes in UFC history.
Твой следующий бой после Маддалены пройдет в 77?
Не могу сказать точно. Есть Топурия какая-то, интрига. Мне самому тоже интересен этот бой. Может получится сделать какой-то супербой. Или, как я сказал, посмотрим по весу.
Islam also hinted at the idea of dropping back down to 155 to take on Ilia Topuria. When asked at the press conference if he would consider returning to lightweight to silence Topuria once and for all, his response was sharp and confident, the kind of answer that instantly had the crowd buzzing.
Также хотел бы попросить тебя вернуться в легкий вес, чтобы ты уничтожил Топурию, и он наконец-то заткнулся и не говорил ничего о бойцах из Дагестана. Islam Makhachev чемпион!
Как ты хочешь, все сделаем.
Islam Makhachev also discussed how his body has been adjusting to life at welterweight. Speaking at the Eagle FC press conference, he explained that before his last camp he walked around at about 183 to 185 pounds. But with better training and nutrition he now sits closer to 189. According to him, this is a sweet spot where he feels strong, sharp, and able to spar comfortably with natural welterweights. Makhachev added that bulking up further isn't really the goal anymore. His last camp already proved he can perform effectively at a higher weight.
Islam, what is your weight now? How much did your weight change, and how did your physical condition, your physical preparation change? You know, up until last camp, I think my weight was about 83, 84. But now with the right regimen, with the right diet, my weight is now 86 and a half. Yesterday was 86 and a half. I think right now I'm where I need to be. I'm at the right weight. I'm at the place where I feel comfortable with working out, sparring, and working with the guys that usually fight at 77. To continue to gain the weight from now on is not necessarily the goal of mine. I mean, it might go up by 1 or 2 kgs in training still, but we've already done plenty of work during this camp with heavyweights to make sure to gain the proper weight that we need.
The former lightweight champ also opened up about the possibility of moving back down to 155 after making his welterweight debut. He admitted that the weight cut has always been tough and said the decision will depend on how his body feels after this fight. Makhachev explained that if his weight climbs to around 85 or 86 kilos, he and his team will need to reassess and figure out the best path forward.
Ever consider going back down to lightweight, because with everything you said, most likely cutting weight is going to be only harder. Depends on how much weight I'll gain after the fight. So if I'm going to go up to 83 or 84, that's possible. But if I'll go up to 85, 86, then I'm not sure. I mean, it was never an easy thing to cut weight. So we'll have to sit down with the team and we'll have to figure out what the next move is.
Similarly, Ilia Topuria voiced his own interest in meeting Islam Makhachev, even suggesting the fight could take place at the White House, a stage he described as historic and perfect to showcase a clash for the American audience. He made it clear he's ready if the opportunity comes, but also cast doubt on whether Islam would ever make the cut back to lightweight, noting that once fighters move up, it's rare for them to drop down again.
You versus Islam on the White House card would be insane. Would you want to fight at the White House, or?
Why not? I would love to fight in front of the United States of America.
Yeah.
I would love it. We'll see what's
But it's
gonna
a year away, right?
happen. It's a year away.
That could be perfect timing for you and Islam, though. What weight would that go down at now, though?
Like, what do you mean? When it
Like
could
what
happen?
weight? What weight class? Yeah.
I don't care with him.
He
I
couldn't
don't
come
really
back
care.
down to 155.
Once you try to go up, you never want to come back.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's hell, right?
it's hell.
Yeah.
It's hell. I had to go through hell when I was cutting the weight in 145, and now that I decide to stay in 155, it's like two different worlds. I have been able to enjoy the whole process. I've been more happier.
However, Arman Tsarukyan argued that Ilia Topuria shouldn't be compared to Islam Makhachev just yet. In his view, Topuria's climb has been less challenging, with most of his signature wins coming against fighters who were no longer in their prime. Tsarukyan even suggested that had Topuria faced Alexander Volkanovski a few years earlier, the outcome would have been completely different, with Volkanovski likely controlling the fight.
If he beat me, he's gonna be on the same level as Islam. He
That would
gotta
be the
beat
first.
like someone like me, you know, who can wrestle. He just had easy fights on his career, you know. He beat legit fighters, but not on their prime. If he met Volkanovski 4 years ago, Volkanovski just eat him.
Islam Makhachev also admitted that the most logical fight at lightweight right now is Ilia Topuria against Arman Tsarukyan. He explained that Tsarukyan has already proven himself as a serious contender and earned the chance to compete at that level. Makhachev added that if Arman approaches the fight with the right mentality, he has all the skills necessary to defeat Topuria.
Вот на твой взгляд, сейчас самый справедливый бой за чемпионство в легком весе между Илией Топурией и Арманом Царукяном?
Ну да, конечно. Если кто-то когда-то, не знаю, в истории страховал бой, делал вес, он всегда дрался почти. Ну, я не помню в истории, чтобы не давали бой. Арман сделал последний турнир вес, подстраховал бой, и я думаю, он должен быть следующий. Он доказал, что у него же была проблема с весогонкой. Он доказал, что может спускаться, гонять вес. И я думаю, что это самый актуальный бой на данный момент.
У кого было бы больше всего шансов на победу?
Ну, я думаю, если честно, если Арман выйдет с правильным настроем, то он справится.
Charles Oliveira also believes Arman Tsarukyan should be the next challenger for Ilia Topuria's title. He emphasized that Tsarukyan is already the #1 ranked contender and has earned his shot. Oliveira reminded fans that Arman was previously lined up for a title fight, but had to withdraw due to injury, which in his view makes him the rightful choice now.
Você imaginaria que seria uma luta interessante e que causaria talvez uma dificuldade pro Topuria?
Cara, não vou te falar nem de dificuldade, nem interessante. Eu acho que o cara que merece isso é o Arman, o número 1 do ranking. Então, o Arman merece essa luta, sabe? Tá esperando ali, ele luta pelo título, teve lesão, saiu, então acho que é o Arman.
Meanwhile, rising middleweight star Khamzat Chimaev has been putting in work alongside Arman Tsarukyan, helping him sharpen up for his upcoming fight. Footage showed Chimaev pushing Arman through intense sessions and motivating him to dig even deeper. Fans were quick to react, praising their chemistry and calling the partnership one of the strongest displays of fighter brotherhood in MMA today.
There we go. Let's go, Arman! Let's go, Arman! Come on, boy! Armansky! 400 coach. He's only keeping on 400. Only 400? Yeah. Smart boy. Bro. Smart boy, coach. Here has to make records to be a smart. In the cage you can be smart. But here, bro.
Carter's only doing 200. What's wrong with your friend here? He's only doing 200.
Give me music, bro.
Let's go. Carter, you stopping on me? Let's go. That's your 2 minutes?
No,
Right there.
I should be.
Right here, 2 minutes.
Если не делай, hard work будет, брат.
400, брат, как говорит тренер.
700 делал я.
Wait down, see how low? I need 400.
Khamzat Chimaev also weighed in, saying that a showdown between Ilia Topuria and Arman Tsarukyan needs to take place before the year ends. He described it as the ideal clash of styles, Arman's relentless wrestling against Topuria's sharp striking, to determine who truly stands at the top. Although Chimaev has ties to both fighters, he admitted he'd be excited to see them finally settle it inside the cage.
We know you're kind of friends with Ilia too, and your friends with Arman. Do you see them fighting this year?
I hope so. It's good fight for the both guys. So fighting is, we need to know who is the best fighter in the world. So the both guys is best fighters now. So I will be happy to watch that fight. Yeah, it's a crazy fight. Arman is good moves. Like, he has a good kick, good wrestling, and the other guy has a good jiu-jitsu, a good puncher. So it would be cool to watch that fight.
On the other hand, former UFC champion Chael Sonnen shared his thoughts on Ilia Topuria's next move, insisting that the UFC is already working toward a matchup with Arman Tsarukyan. Sonnen spoke with confidence rather than speculation, pointing out that Topuria has a history of initially dismissing fights in public only to accept them later. When pressed on how he was so sure, Sonnen explained that his information came from a close connection, Arman's wrestling coach, making him believe this fight is closer to reality than many think.
Outside of illness or injury, even if I'm breaking news to you, then I'm not sharing my opinion. I'm sharing a fact with you. It's Arman versus Ilia. That is 100% the plan.
What makes you so confident, 100% sure, is going to be Arman Tsarukyan getting the shot? I've said, pretty sure I said I'd eat that hat behind me if his next fight was for a title, just because it seems so grim, Chael.
Sure.
What has changed?
Well, there's a couple things. I mean, first off, I'm obviously coming to you with information that whether I should have or I shouldn't. Secondly, I was the best man in his wedding. His name's Daryl Christian, and he's the wrestling coach of Arman Tsarukyan. Third, I just spoke to Coach Cal. I wanted to come out and I wanted to film Chimaev training, and it turns out that Tsarukyan's in the room.
Chael Sonnen took Ilia Topuria's recent comments as a strong sign that a showdown with Arman Tsarukyan is already in the works. He explained that Topuria has a familiar pattern, publicly brushing off fights at first, only to accept them later, which often hints that negotiations are underway. Sonnen even compared it to the small tells fighters show inside the cage, saying Topuria's habit of denying before agreeing has become predictable. The only exception, he joked, is Paddy Pimblett, one name Topuria never seems to turn down.
A bigger tell also was what Ilia did a week ago, which is said, I don't want to fight. And the greats always, they don't even know they have it. They don't even, coaches will break them down. It's the same with technique. A coach will break, hey, he slips here before he throws hook. Chuck Liddell had a big thing that he would blink before he threw punches. I'm just sharing, everybody has something that gets them going. Your job is to go find out what it is, but it's not any different in promotion. Ilia's first move for doing a fight is to deny the fight. The only person that he's ever openly said, I'll fight, is Paddy. Everybody else that he's getting ready to fight, he denies. It's just his approach.
Chael Sonnen drew a parallel between Ilia Topuria's approach and the promotional tactics once used by Anderson Silva. He recalled how Silva often downplayed potential opponents at first, then eventually accepted the matchup, only for whispers of an injury to circulate before the fight was finally confirmed. In Sonnen's eyes, Topuria seems to follow a similar pattern, whether it's calculated strategy or simply subconscious habit.
Anderson would always deny the fight. He'd let that run for about 2 weeks. He would then accept the fight. He would let that run for about a month. He would then slip an injury report to the media. Where you think the fight is off, it's not going to happen. He'd get his run out of that, and then he'd come out and tell everybody I'm fine and it's on. I'm only sharing, that was his system. 100% of his fights, he built the same way. Ilia's not any different whether he knows it about himself or not. But Ilia's first move when he's going to fight a guy, aside from Paddy, is to say, I'm not fighting him.
Arman Tsarukyan also hinted at the possibility of a title fight with Ilia Topuria. He admitted he's still waiting to hear directly from the UFC, but joked that Chael Sonnen might actually know more about the situation than he does. In Tsarukyan's view, Topuria is hesitant about the matchup because of the danger it brings, preferring instead to chase high-profile opponents that carry less risk rather than defending the belt against him.
I wanna fight for the title. I've been waiting so long, and Chael Sonnen maybe knows something.
Yeah. How do you know if those conversations about a title fight are ongoing with the UFC?
They didn't tell anything yet to me. So I'm just still waiting, training, and trying to call out Ilia as much as possible.
Yeah, we've seen some of the tweets towards Ilia. They've been funny. I enjoyed the duck video that he did. What do you make of the fact that he says he would rather give up the belt than fight you, that you just don't deserve it, he doesn't want to do it?
I mean, he feels that he's gonna lose that fight, and it's better to give the belt and then like go up or like wait when what happened with me, because he knows just I'm a big problem for him, and I'm gonna get his title. He knows that, and he wants to get easy fight with Perry or Gage or with someone, just make money and to defend. But with me, it's gonna be hard for him.
On the other hand, Dan Hooker revealed that doctors have officially cleared him to return in November, and he already has one name in mind, Arman Tsarukyan. Hooker explained that there's no one ranked between them who's actually willing to take that fight, so he's ready to step in and test himself against one of the toughest rising contenders in the division.